It has been just over 6 months that we got the keys and we started the reno on our house, so I thought this would only be the right time to give you an update, a proper house tour of where we are at somewhat 6 months in. We're starting right off in the porch, and actually the least exciting room in the whole house because we've done absolutely nothing in here. Eventually I would like to paint this a nice colour and change the tiles and actually put some proper tiles down, but to be honest this is not a priority at all. I tried to come up with some solutions to store our shoes and our jackets. All of them have failed so far. I have got some shelves that I need to put up here so we can keep our shoes up. Because it is a very tight space, when the shoes are on the floor, it gets a bit crammed and a bit annoying. We've added a new porch door in here. The one that was here before was fully closed, so you didn't really get any light coming in. I do need to paint this. You will see throughout this whole video there's many things I still need to paint, but I'm putting it off. We cracked one of the window panels, so that also needs to be changed. So then we come into the living room, and this actually is the room that is like the most done. It's the most livable. We also spend the most time in here, so it kind of was really important to get it done. We had all of our floors sanded and finished, stained. We always knew that the floor in the living room was the worst, and even after it was professionally done, it still didn't look great. So we got a big vintage rug to cover it all up, and it actually looks so much better. It gives the room a bit more depth. Before this, because everything's very wooden and beige and white, it was very washed out, so this gave it a nice bit of contrast. We also got a new sofa. We came with a sofa, however it was ever so slightly too big so that you couldn't open the door when it was stood here. By chance, I found this one secondhand for like less than £400, and I actually think this is one of the best things that we have ever bought. I love it. It's really comfy. We still need lots of artwork throughout the whole house. I want a big painting here and a big painting here, but those definitely aren't things that we need to do right now. This window is lovely and big, but I still need to find some curtains. The house came with these, which actually are really functional. They're just not that pretty. I'm really unsure what curtains to get because the space on the sides is so narrow. I'm just not really sure. So that still needs doing. It also needs painting all around the window and down here. All the skirting throughout the whole house, and all of the doors need painting. But like I said, I have not been in the mood to do any of that. We have a lot of cable mess going on here from the TV, which I have bought the cable cover-ups, and I thought I could do them by myself, but it turns out I actually can't, and I need Ryan's help with them, so we'll do that eventually. It does really annoy me, especially when I'm taking photos. I never take photos of this side of the room. I always just go that side because this mess is crazy. Oh, also, we found this shelf on the road around the neighborhood and picked it up. I think I'm going to put it here. Eventually I would like a different type of shelf, but for now I think it would do the job of just keeping some of our stuff that's still in storage, and we can actually put it out on display. So we'll hang this up eventually. Then we have all of our bookshelves up, all of our books are in. This is like my favorite bit of the house. This is like the showstopper, so to say. 2 of them we already had, and then we bought another one. They almost fit perfectly. There's a bit of a gap here, which I thought about covering up, but to be honest, I haven't really thought about it. I don't really notice it that much, and it's quite handy to still access the plugs. We still need to cover up where the old wall went, where we tore it down, and we still have this quite exposed, the understairs storage, but I'll get back to that when we're in the dining room because this is all gonna change eventually. So yeah, if you come through here, we are straight in the dining room, and not much has happened in here other than the floors, which means that a lot is still going to happen in here. We have a patio door ready here, which is gonna go here instead of the window. We still need to put through the building regulation stuff to be able to do that. But yeah, the idea is to just be able to go outside, open the door up in the summer, that kind of stuff. So that still needs doing. When the patio door is in, I also would maybe like some kind of awning to give us some shelter and cover, because I like to put our washing in this galley because there's nothing else we can do with it. If I had infinite money, I would extend the kitchen out to there, but that has been quoted at like 60 grand. And I do not have 60 grand, so we will not be doing that. Speaking of building regulations, we are going to remove this wall and open up the staircase banister. I'm pretty sure I spoke about that in the original house tour video as well. Still hasn't happened. But yeah, the idea is that this is going to be on some steel bars, and we're also then going to replace the staircase to come around a bit more, because at the moment the staircase is really, really steep. So the stairs especially haven't changed at all. Surprisingly, the mess of all of this doesn't bother me at all. I'm so used to it, even though I go up and down every single day. I don't even think about the state that this is in until we have guests around. Weirdly, I end up focusing on very minor, unimportant details in the house, and I'm just absolutely fine with the stairs looking like this. I think it's also one of those things that's completely out of our control, and I know there's nothing I can do about it, so I've kind of just erased it out of my mind. Then the door to the kitchen has been fully removed. We didn't initially plan on doing this. Initially, I wanted a door here, but when Ryan was replastering everything, he made the doorway so much bigger and it's so much nicer now that we decided there's no need for a door. And genuinely, not once have I thought I want a door there. It would just always be open. We would never close it at all. So I really like this more sort of open space. Funnily enough, in my previous video, I said that the kitchen was actually the place where I didn't really want to do anything. I was kind of happy with how it was. And this ended up being the room that we did the most, like cosmetic work, I would say. We have painted the tiles, we've painted the cabinets, we've put new doorknobs on. We've got a new hob and a new extractor fan. We put new flooring down, and I think that is it. Actually, I'm still not 100% on a lot of these changes. A lot of it is kind of temporary. I have made the horrible realization that I really don't like this shaker style cabinetry, and this has actually been really bothering me. I would love just like a plain plywood type cabinet, which is hilarious because when we looked at the house, the kitchen was like my favorite thing, and then it turned out to be my least favorite thing. Gonna have to just live with that. The boiler at the start really bothered me, all of this being exposed. Again, I don't really think about it. Every now and again I think, oh, it would maybe look a bit nicer if it was covered up, but it's also just not really a priority. Then we got a new dishwasher and we have our washing machine down here. However, the dishwasher is ever so slightly too big for the space and it sticks out, because what I really want to do is cover it with some kind of like curtain, but I can't because the dishwasher pops out so much. So I don't know if we need to get a new one. Maybe just, I think covering the white goods would make this look even better, maybe. Also, we got new lights for in here. Again, something that I thought initially I really liked about the house was all the spotlights, but I actually hate them so much. They make such terrible light throughout the whole house. So we're in the process of changing them all out and just adding one light in the middle of the room. So we put these ones here. I'm not really 100% sure on them, to be honest. I think they're a little bit too 50s style diner restaurant vibes, but they're in now. We're gonna keep them for now, I guess. Then this tiny little hallway we actually use a lot. Obviously, this is the way that we get out into the garden. Ryan uses this as his main entrance into the house, going to and from work. Eventually, I would love to paint just this hallway like a really fun, funky color. I think in a nice little space like this, that would be really cool. We come into the bathroom. Again, all the coving still needs painting. I am sure I'll do that one day. There's nothing we can do in here really, and it's actually fine. The whole room is easy to clean, it's easy to maintain. It's just not the prettiest. We tore off some of the tiles to then expose another layer of tiles underneath. So this is going to be really fun for the contractor who's going to remodel our bathroom. The toilet also, to this day, kind of annoying how they placed it right there. Not as annoying as I thought it would be. You know, it doesn't make our lives any more difficult. It's just really silly. We're gonna have the bathroom redone in October, but I have no idea what I want in here. The whole layout of this room is really confusing, and there's also some limitations of where the pipes are, so certain things can only go in certain places, which kind of limits the options that I have on where to put things. Just the whole storage solutions and stuff. I still need to have a little think about that. As the weather got nicer, we moved from doing work inside to doing work outside naturally to enjoy the nice weather. So we put pavers down onto the concrete floor that was here previously. This was kind of the cheapest option to go for. So we went for this and it actually looks fine. Our project at the moment is to get rid of the shed at the end of the garden. Initially, I wanted to just replace it with like a summer house type of thing, but we actually realized we have so much more garden space that we could use, so we're just going to tear that shed down and we're going to put some decking down so that on one side we have space for a dining table, and then on the other side we're going to put this shed. For the time being, the shed is here, so we can put everything that is in the old shed into this shed for storage, so we can then tear down the old shed, if that makes sense. It's a lot of moving things about over and over and over again. Before this shed was here, we had a L-shaped garden sofa, which is currently there. That's going to go back into that corner. And then we also added these planters on each side, these L-shaped ones, which Ryan built custom, and they actually turned out really, really nice. This is the first time that I'm doing gardening, and it's really testing my patience. At first, naturally, nothing was happening, and it was looking incredibly sparse, but now the greenery is coming through. It's looking really, really nice, and it's just giving the garden a bit more colour. If you go back to the initial house tour, you will see how bland and grey the garden was before, so I really wanted to give it a bit more colour back. We replaced all of the fences on this side because they were pretty much damaged from all the vines that were there before, and we are going to paint this side of the fence to match the other side, of course, so it all looks nice and even. And we do want to put some grass down eventually here. We're going to do that in the autumn so it doesn't all burn or like dry out in the summer. Till then, we're going to keep these stones. They are actually the bane of my existence. Pretty much the whole garden was covered in these stones, and we've already filled up 2-ton bags full of these stones, and there's still all of this left. So that's going to be fun, getting rid of that later on this year. All right, so then coming up the stairs on the left, we have our bedroom, and I'm actually really struggling with this room, especially the layout of it is really, really hard to figure out. Apart from the furniture, there's so much other stuff that we actually need to focus on. Repainting the walls, covering up the bits of plaster. We still have a leak in the roof. We've been let down by 2 roofers now, so we still need to have our roof tiles replaced. And we actually had another leak this morning because it had been raining so much last night, so that is fun. One good thing is we tiled the floor. So this previously was just a hole, and yeah, we covered it with some tiles, which to be honest, it's not that exciting considering that the rest of the room is an absolute state still. In terms of furniture pieces, I am a little bit stuck. We have this old chest, which we're not going to get rid of because it used to belong to Ryan's grandparents, and I do really like it. It had this mirror on the back, but it just was too low and it was throwing me off, so I took it off for now and put my books on there. I think eventually I might move this into the wardrobe room. I'm not sure. Equally, this one is way too big, obviously, for a nightstand. It's also too big to go where the window is because it's too wide, so it would just block out all of the light coming in. Again, might move this into this room eventually and just replace this side with like a nice bedside table. Put a nice rug down, maybe put some fun colour on the wall. Not too sure. Again, we're gonna change the ceiling and we're gonna add just a middle light instead of the spotlight, so hopefully that'll make everything look a bit cozier in here as well. So then we come into our wardrobe space, and this is where the house still starts getting a little bit messy because we have been using this room for storage pretty much throughout the whole reno, so please do not judge. The room is massive, which is amazing. So we have all of our clothes along this wall. I actually have some really fun plans for this room. It's just, again, not a priority because no one ever really sees it. Initially, we were planning to half the room. So we'd have half a walk-in wardrobe and then another bathroom at the end of this room. We don't really need it at all. Eventually, I would like this to have sort of a 80s department store vibe. So I want to put a curtain up so you can't see all of the mess. I already have the curtain. I have not been able to put it up or had the time or the motivation to put it up yet, but eventually there'll be a curtain here. I actually would love to put some carpet down as well to kind of, you know, enhance that department store vibe. But before we do all of that, the doorway still needs plastering, covering all of this up, and then hopefully once sort of the main cosmetic stuff is done, I can figure out the furniture situation in here. I still don't really know about the mirror being here as well. The light is kind of weird at the end of the room, but then the whole layout, again, there's a radiator here, window here. I'm a little bit limited with space. I will definitely get rid of this chest someday because it just does not hold anything. We have too many things, as you can see, that haven't got anywhere to go. So I think I'm going to get rid of this and just get a trusty old like Hemnes IKEA chest of drawers that actually fits all of our things in, because currently it's just overflowing with things. Now, the last room of the house is also currently the worst one. It once was livable. I've had my mum stay in there as a guest bedroom. I've had it set up as a home office, and then we decided to replaster the ceiling. So now it's not very habitable and it's actually quite embarrassing, the state of this. Yeah, Ryan replastered the ceiling, so now it just needs painting and new coving put on, and we're gonna obviously again put a light in the middle of the room. I have annoyingly already painted all of the walls in here, so now I need to repaint them. That might be why I can't be asked to do any of the painting in this house, because there's so much painting that still needs to be done. So I have all of my work stuff in here. We have all of the loft boards still here, which Ryan's using to obviously board up the loft so we can store things up there as well. The doorway to the loft, I don't know if it's changed since the first house tour. Probably has, but it still hasn't been finished. And that's pretty much the state of this room. Eventually, when I have repainted the ceiling, I want to also draw a curtain along here so I can cover up these shelves, because they do just make things look a bit messy and a bit just stresses me out, you know? But other than that, I pretty much had the room set up as I would like to use it. I just need to get back to that. So yeah, that is all of our house updates, 6-7 months into the renovation. I don't know if this is good progress or slow progress. Just keep in mind also, obviously, that we're only really working on the house on the weekends. The time that we have to work on this is very limited, and also the motivation has definitely ran out sort of 3 months in, and now we're kind of just happy living in the mess, to be honest. I've just accepted that things are going to be like this. Definitely watch the first house tour if you want to see how far we have come. And yeah, I hope you found this interesting, insightful. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.